Chapter 148. Testing. Two beeps sounded, and the villa's main gate automatically opened. Ava pushed the door and walked in. Photos of her dancing hung on the entrance wall. She opened the shoe cabinet to find new slippers inside. She remembered what Dr. Foster had told her. Before going to find you, he had people send over lots of clothes and shoes in your size. He said you were just studying abroad. 3 years would pass quickly. Transportation is convenient now, so he could visit you often. Ava changed her shoes and walked into the living room. Everywhere she looked were photos of her. Many were photos she'd never seen before, from her years abroad. Ava surveyed the living room, then went upstairs. Dr. Foster had said Adrian's bedroom was the innermost room on the second floor. She walked toward it step by step. Standing at the bedroom door, she hesitated for a long time before placing her hand on the doorknob. She pushed open the door. A faint jasmine fragrance wafted toward her. She immediately saw the enlarged photo hanging on the wall above the bed. In it, she wore a white dress and Adrian wore a black suit. She held Adrian's arm, smiling radiantly. The background was a famous church abroad. That time, she and Adrian had attended the wedding of an older friend she was close to. After the photo was taken, while looking at it, she joked with Adrian that they looked like the bride and groom. Adrian had then asked what kind of wedding she wanted. She'd said she wanted something super luxurious, a grand wedding that everyone would envy. Adrian hadn't said whether he'd give it to her, only humming in acknowledgement. At the time, she hadn't thought about marrying Adrian, but she'd known that whatever she wanted, Adrian would give her. Starting from age 10, or rather, from when she'd met Adrian, her life had taken a completely different path from before. Ava stopped at the desk. A camera sat on it, with a notebook beside it. She pulled out the chair and sat down, casually opening the notebook. Get better soon. Go see Ava soon. Opening the first page, this was what was written. Ava suddenly felt her eyes stinging. So stupid. If his attitude had been a bit more forceful, she wouldn't have been unwilling to visit him. Right. Adrian had promised her he would never be like his father. That was after she'd just learned about Adrian's parents. Having falsely claimed credit for saving him, she'd felt guilty, afraid Adrian had inherited his father's extreme personality and would come after her when he learned the truth. She'd avoided Adrian for several days, struggling internally over whether to tell him the truth. Adrian had thought she was afraid he'd imprison her like his father. He'd promised her that would never happen. He would respect her wishes. Ava turned to the second page. Seeing its contents, her heart trembled. She flipped through several more pages until reaching the last one. All contained the same content. Ava flipped through it again. After confirming she hadn't misread it, she stared at the diary for a long time, unable to process it. Was she really that important? Ava turned her head, her gaze landing on the camera. After opening it, she found it was full of videos of her performances. She spent the entire afternoon watching the videos Adrian had filmed. Every single performance, including school celebration performances before she became famous, not a single one was missed. This was the first time Ava truly felt that Adrian deeply loved her. Before, she'd always thought Adrian had fallen in love with her because of the life-saving debt. Adrian's kindness toward her, she actually hadn't taken it too much to heart. Or rather, she hadn't dared to. Having seen how humbly her mother loved her father, she'd sworn from a young age never to become like her mother. This relationship built on a lie. Naturally, she hadn't dared invest her heart in it. Many years later, today, she finally learned that Adrian had known all along from the very beginning. Ava, when did you come to France? While waiting at the airport, Ava ran into Mandy Cooper and Ryan Jong. She smiled and greeted them, then sat down beside Mandy. Today. And you're going back already? Mandy asked in surprise. Flying back and forth for over 30 hours would be exhausting. She suddenly remembered hearing a few days ago that Adrian had been in a car accident and was apparently still in the hospital, so she changed the subject. Hey, this is the first time I've seen you wear this necklace. Mandy looked at the ruby necklace around Ava's neck. The ruby refracted dazzling light under the fluorescent lamps. This was the necklace Ava had lost before. At the time, Ava had paid a high price to find it. After she'd returned it to Ava, she'd never seen Ava wear it. Previously, she'd thought maybe Ava found it too valuable to wear, but after learning about Ava's background, she figured that couldn't be the reason. She hadn't expected that after several years, she'd see Ava wearing this necklace. Mr. Pierce gave you this necklace, right? Ryan chimed in from the side. The valuable ruby had been purchased by Adrian at auction. Everyone knew who Adrian had intended to give it to. Later, at Ava's 18th birthday coming-of-age party, she'd worn this ruby necklace. Ava touched the pendant, then nodded. This was the only gift from Adrian she'd taken when going abroad to study. New Harbor, hospital room. Dr. Foster and Adrian on the bed stared at each other. He really knew how to pick his timing to wake up. Ava had just left, and he woke up. Sure enough, as he'd predicted, the moment Adrian woke, he asked for her. "Adrian, she's your wife, not mine. How would I know where she went?" Dr. Foster guiltily touched his nose. If Adrian knew he'd sent Ava to his place in France and deliberately had the servants place his camera and notebook on the desk, Adrian would probably kill him. "She asked you about my leg situation, didn't she?" Adrian said coolly. Dr. Foster laughed awkwardly twice. "Your leg is fine, but wasn't this to help you test Ava's love for you? I told her your leg was quite serious," Dr. Foster said with a straight face. "Then she never came to see you again. She was discharged the day before yesterday." "Who asked you to test her for me?" Adrian's brow shadowed with darkness. "If I get divorced, you can forget about ever getting married in this lifetime." Dr. Foster realized the joke had gone too far. Just as he was about to explain, another clear female voice interrupted. "Dr. Foster, how can you slander people like that? After you told me Adrian's legs might never stand again, I went abroad to find doctors for him. You actually said I didn't care about him. You're too much." Ava looked at Dr. Foster with grievance. Dr. Foster's scalp tightened. Running into these two was his bad luck.